the scream. Then the chase. It's the siren song of a surprising hunter of the deep. The humpback whale. The gentle giants of popular myth are now being revealed as aggressive predators. Research is casting new light on these mysterious creatures at war and at peace.
Major funding for nature is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. Major corporate support is made possible by Canon, dedicated to preserving the never-ending beauty of nature. Canon know-how lets you capture the wild in photographs and leave it as you found it. Canon know-how. Ford Motor Company. Some people work every day to make the world a better place. Ford Motor Company's Heroes for the Planet is a program developed to celebrate them and all the good that they do. And by TIAA-CREF, a long-time provider of products and services to support everyone's ever-expanding financial needs. TIAA-CREF, ensuring the future for those who shape it. This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Southeast Alaska in mid-December. Several hundred humpbacks have spent the entire summer here, cruising between the islands of the Inside Passage, feeding on the rich plankton and fish stocks. But now, the chill of approaching winter heralds a change. Thousands of old squaw ducks have migrated here from the polar north. Compared to the Arctic, these conditions are mild, and the ducks will spend the winter feeding in these sheltered waterways. Most of the humpbacks feel a pressing need to set out on an epic journey of their own. By the end of December, the whales are heading south. Blowing for breath periodically and traveling alone or in small groups, the humpbacks keep a steady pace of about 6 miles an hour. The sound of their passage attracts a pod of Pacific white-sided dolphins. Eventually, the whales make their way to the open ocean for a voyage of 3,500 miles. The islands of Hawaii in January. Towering over the vast Pacific Ocean, these volcanic sea cliffs are the tallest in the world and provide rare protection from the wind and surf. The subtropical water is an ideal sheltered nursery in which humpbacks can raise their young. This is the reason for the Great Migration. They also come here to breed. About 5,000 humpbacks visit Hawaii every winter. Several hundred of them are mothers with their calves. The maternal bond is exceptionally close. This 50-ton cow and her 4-week-old calf will be inseparable for almost an entire year. Since he's still a weak swimmer, she gives him an energy-saving piggyback ride and gently prods him up to the surface to help him breathe. But they are not alone. Another large adult sails in to join them. Some scientists used to believe that visitors like this were females, aunts helping out with the calves. But in fact, they are males. And probably the last thing on this escort's mind is the calf's well-being. This trio of cow, calf, and male escort is a common social group in the breeding area. But the liaison is tense because soon after giving birth, the cow is ready to mate again. The escort seems patient enough to bide his time. But the cow has more important things on her mind. Her calf needs to nurse regularly and nudges in under her huge 12-foot pectoral fins. For now, the escort awaits his chance. The lungs of baby whales are small, so his mother must release him regularly from her protective embrace. The adults can remain underwater for up to 40 minutes. But for the calf, it's a different story. Every 4 or 5 minutes, he has to surface all by himself for a breath. "60 feet below, the adults wait for the calf's return. Schooling mackerel also head for the immense bodies, perhaps using them as a temporary shelter in the vast expanse of the open ocean. The small group may remain together for days at a time, gently weaving between the islands. Idyllic as their setting may seem, it's vital that the calf develops in size and strength quickly. His survival may depend upon it. Has passed. The calf is doing well, carefully guarded by his ever-vigilant mother. As before, the moment he needs to breathe, she releases him. But trips to the surface are no longer so daunting or frequent. The calf has grown, both in size and independence. A breathing expedition is now a perfect excuse for some fun. The play is excellent for improving much-needed stamina, but the commotion may also attract the attention of other whales and people, like scientist Jim Darling. He's been working with humpbacks for 18 years in an effort to discover more about their behavior. If we are to preserve these great whales, we must first understand their needs. Humpbacks are world famous for their beautiful and haunting songs, but Jim's main interest lies in their social function, so he uses a hydrophone to locate and listen to singers. Only males sing, so it's most likely a sexual display of some kind. The Hawaiian singers often lie motionless with their pectoral fins thrust down and held stiffly outward. All the whales sing roughly the same song, a rigidly structured pattern of themes lasting about 12 minutes, which can be repeated almost without break for hours on end. A passing whale casually moves in to check out the singer. Is this a female, attracted by the bull's voice, or another male, assessing the strength of the competition? In any event, the singer is disturbed and quickly moves on. Sometimes the intruding whale will catch up with the singer and swim with it for a few minutes. But is this passion or war? Jim's task is to identify and sex the incoming whales to try and solve the riddle. First, he takes photos of the tail flukes. And then waits to snap a few shots of the dorsal fin as well. Both are uniquely marked or shaped and will identify the animal for future reference.
I think it is the one with the white tail.
But sexing a whale is an entirely different matter.
Okay, we'll just stay along right at this distance.
The best technique is to take a skin sample.
Okay, that's good.
But it's a very difficult thing to do. Just maneuvering a boat close to a whale without disturbing it takes great skill. So Jim's research assistant, Karen, must be very responsive. They need to get close enough to fire a low-powered dart that collects a tiny plug of skin. Done correctly, it causes no alarm. The sample will be sent back to the laboratory for DNA analysis.
All right.
Good. Okay.
It will reveal the whale's sex and genetic details. Jim's preliminary results have shown that all the singing whales he's tested are male. So it seems that the song could be an elaborate communication of male status. Perhaps it is war after all. And when it comes to competing for a mate, the bulls do more than just sing. There are over 1,000 of them around Hawaii, so the competition for females is intense. Even cows with calves are fair game, and the females may actually encourage the bull's attention. For the calf, this will be a trying time. This bull, with distinctive white pectoral fins, is the escort, and he moves in quickly to claim his right. But the cow heads off, with her calf close beside her. And another male soon picks up the chase. The escorted group changes course. Perhaps the bull is trying to shake off the pursuers. But following them is easy. The escort tries a threat display, blowing jets of bubbles underwater. This may help establish a dominance pecking order in the line of hopeful suitors following the cow. Another bull moves closer. Like a surfacing submarine, the escort moves in to intercept. The female lifts her head clear of the water. After swimming at 10 miles an hour for several minutes, the calf is tiring and flails in distress. The bulls are overtaking them. As yet another male powers up from behind, the cow finally stops, slapping her flipper loudly. With bulls circling her continuously, she starts slashing her tail to fend off the less desirable mates. And in another attempted display of dominance, the escort moves towards her with his fins stiffly outstretched. Undeterred, up to 7 males circle the cow, totally surrounding her. They hoot as they jostle for prime position. The competition becomes even more intense as one of the bulls chases the escort away. Now the cow is an unprotected target. During the ensuing confusion, it's possible that one of the bulls will succeed in mating with her. lashing weakly. The calf is now close to exhaustion. His mother glides up to reassure him and, if necessary, give physical support. But for the moment, they are ignored. The bulls are too engrossed in a conflict where collisions may even draw blood. The cow takes the chance to slip away, and not a moment too soon. Her calf desperately needs to feed. If these chases happen too often, it's possible that the stress and lack of feeding could be fatal to calves. By February, Jim's team is joined by the renowned underwater still photographer, Flip Nicklin. The two have worked together, on and off, for over 18 years. They quickly locate the whales. Suddenly they notice something strangely familiar about one of them. It dives with a lopsided tail. It's a style that's reminiscent of a whale that was a major landmark in their research. They called him Frank, and last saw him 18 years ago. They approach with a growing sense of excitement. Could it be the same whale? This is a unique opportunity. "18 years ago, Flip and his father Chuck became the first people to dive down to a singing whale. Their breakthrough was to hold their breath instead of using traditional scuba gear with its noisy bubbles. The photos they took were the first proof that singers are male. Diving this close to a singing whale is an extraordinary experience. Its voice is so strong that it causes Flip's entire body to vibrate. He's searching for identifying marks on the whale's tail. Frank had a big ragged tear on his left fluke with deep lacerations from a cable entanglement. Remarkably, after all this time, Flip was indeed looking at the very same tail. It was Frank. Unable to hold his breath any longer, Flip is forced to head for the surface once more. As incredible as Frank's rediscovery was, it also revealed just how little we know about these animals. Where had he been during all this time? It's possible that he had been visiting Hawaii every year and had simply not been seen. But other Hawaiian humpbacks have been spotted in breeding grounds off Japan, as well as islands near Mexico's Pacific coast. So Frank's journeys may also have taken him to such places. Interestingly, researchers have found that the songs in these areas, separated by thousands of miles, are very similar. The structure is almost identical, only the tone is different. It's like having a local accent in the same language.
Okay, it's now 6:14 on the 20th of March, 1997. We're recording a singer.
Jeff Jacobson and Sal Sergio have spent several years studying the songs of the Mexican whales. Not only have they found the song similar to the one used in Hawaii, they've also confirmed that it appears to change constantly throughout the breeding season. So by the end of the 3-month winter breeding season, all the singers end up with a slightly different tune. This was already known to happen in Hawaii. Although the songs in both areas will change, they will still bear strong similarities. But how exactly are these song variations related? Part of the answer may lie in genetics. Jeff and Sal are studying genetic links within this group of whales. Their research may someday help to explain how song variations are passed on. By photographing and taking DNA samples from the mothers and calves, as well as the male population, they hope to determine which of the males are fathering the calves. They can then begin to tie in overall behavior to assess if display or song plays a role in successful mating. Breaching causes a whale to slough off some of its skin. The skin samples can be collected and sent back to the lab for DNA analysis.
All right, yeah, that's enough sample. All right, let's do it.
Oh, that's great.
Tiny bit.
These paternity tests may help to solve some of the mysteries of the humpback's mating game.
Man, so many breaches that calf was doing. It took quite a while to get these little bits.
Last week, I got 2 chunks of skin that were 5 square inches.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Amazing. Big sheets.
In the end, they hope to find out just who gets the girl, and more importantly, why. But it's far from straightforward, and we are still a long way from knowing the answer. February, on the edge of the Antarctic ice shelf. The northern hemisphere is still braced in midwinter, but down here, it's high summer, and humpbacks visit annually to harvest the rich pickings. This is an entirely different group of whales from those in Hawaii. All too soon, severe cold will drive these whales north to breeding grounds of their own, but they remain south of the equator, among the South Pacific islands of Fiji and Tonga. only about 100 humpbacks around Tonga because until recently they were hunted. This is the first time that Flip Nicklin's father, Chuck, has visited these islands, so there's no guarantee that he'll find any whales. But after a week of waiting, he's finally spotted some activity and sets off to investigate. Internationally recognized for his underwater cinematography, Chuck's years of experience have taught him how to safely approach the whales. His luck holds. This is the first time he's ever seen a Tongan whale, and it's a mother and calf. Edging closer reveals that the calf is very young. The crease on its side is from being curled up inside its mother's womb, and it's almost pure white. In fact, southern whales are different in appearance from those of the north. Even the adults have far more white markings. Although Chuck has been diving with whales for 30 years, swimming this close is still a huge thrill.
Did you see the whale? Chuck, did you see the whale?
Yeah. Saw the calf. Calf is really white, riding right on top of his mother. Remors are all underneath the mother. Water's really blue. It was just really dynamite. The calf is so small. Must be just brand new.
After catching his breath, Chuck makes a second descent. He approaches with his camera as quietly as he can. The cow and her calf seem totally unconcerned. Perhaps the cow is so tolerant because there are not many bulls here, and consequently there is less sexual harassment than in Hawaii. But there are some males here. The song is very different from those of the northern Pacific, with extraordinary chirps and screams. The singer's action is also noticeably different. Even while it rolls and plays, the song keeps booming out. It seems a much more light-hearted performance, and it's easier to make an approach. Southern whales don't seem to be travelers like their northern cousins. They are governed by the seasons of the south, so they breed 6 months later than the northern Pacific humpbacks. This male's song will probably never be heard north of the equator and will always sound unique. He is from a distinct population with its very own language. Researching the movements and cultures of whales on a global scale is incredibly difficult. How on earth can you follow a migrant across thousands of miles? One man who does just that is Dr. Bruce Mate. He's using high-tech telecommunications to track some of the Hawaiian whales on their northbound migration. The satellite transmits positioning signals from tagged animals, revealing their precise location day or night. The results are already extraordinary. Hawaiian humpbacks don't have just one single destination. They radiate out to feeding areas all over the North Pacific. This group is nearing the coast of southeast Alaska. Hundreds of mountainous islands fringe the rugged coastline, and the cold water that separates them is some of the most productive in the world. At the end of their long journey, the whales seem almost exuberant. They breach and slap their flippers repeatedly. It's a phenomenal display. A 50-ton body hurling itself out of the water. The strong riptides here literally seethe with fish. Countless millions of herring collect near the surface, sipping individual plankton from the dense summer bloom. But catching plankton can be risky business. Herring is a favorite on Alaska's coastal menu. The shoal bunches into a protective ball, but it's a futile defense against diving guillemots and auklets. From above, young herring gulls add to the feeding frenzy, and the commotion attracts a dogfish. Before long, there are legions of these small sharks on the prowl for herring. Trying to escape, the shoal dives deep. But depth is no guarantee of safety. A wall of bubbles rises up to the surface, expanding noisily. The line keeps growing until it becomes a complete ring. Corralled by the vertical net of bubbles, the herring are trapped at the surface. It's the worst place to be. A lone humpback lunges into the center of his bubble net. The whale can repeat this attack every few minutes for hours on end. The spread of its jaws is over 12 feet, and pleats in the whale's throat stretch enormously along half its body length, allowing it to engulf hundreds of gallons of water. A single gulp can devour an entire shoal. Feeding like this also attracts other whales like this pod of orcas. Opportunistic feeders, they will take on just about anything. Dr. Bruce Mate is eager to use his satellite techniques to discover more about whale behavior in feeding areas. He believes that knowing where the most important humpback feeding areas are and how the whales use them will help us to ensure that the right protection is given to both their environment and the whales themselves. But first, he must tag some whales. His team uses a small boat for close approaches. They must be close enough to dart the whales with a small satellite transmitter. Barb, the skipper, has to time her runs perfectly to get Bruce into exactly the right position at the right time. If at the last moment the whale surfaces in the wrong place, they abort the pass. It's a precise and delicate operation.
Yeah, get the safety off. Let it come up again. Let it come up again. If it will. Okay, go, 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 go. Go. Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Watch your hands now.
Woo!
Very good.
After retrieving the dart sleeve with a thin line, Bruce and his crew will take photos of the tagged whales for reference. They are still far from certain that a tag will work. A satellite has to be able to pick up its signals. Even with a satellite in the right position, the system will only operate if a tagged whale comes to the surface to blow. Even then, if the whale's transmitter isn't at the right angle, they still won't receive a signal. To find out if everything is working, Bruce needs to get to a phone.
This is kind of exciting. A week now. First time. We're connected. We've got data. Come on over and take a look.
Great. Right.
This is neat. Look at this. All this stuff.
Oh, that's amazing.
843.
This is just the last.
That's the first one we tagged.
Yeah.
On the second.
Right.
Wow.
Are we hearing from all 5 whales?
Can't tell yet. It's just
Still
still giving
scrolling
us
by.
all
We've got
the
so
first
much.
whales
Oh my
data.
God.
All
Good.
that
Look at how many messages,
8
yeah.
messages in one orbit.
Right, yeah. And it's
All
just
right.
the start, you know, with everything going well. We're going to have data coming in for a
that is
long
so
time.
great.
Their excitement is justified. Data from the summer tagging has shown that the whale groups are flexible. The numbers and individuals change constantly. They've even found that the animals move around, seeking out the food hotspots. But if the fishing is good, they'll stay in one area for weeks at a time. And dense fish stocks attract more than just whales. Purse seine boats use a mechanical version of the humpback's bubble netting technique. Often whales and fishermen will work in the same area, sometimes even for the same catch. But by June, the fishing boats are not allowed to land herring. They are working the summer salmon run instead. But salmon eat herring and plankton, so the whales may still find a catch alongside the boats. Once the fishermen have located a shoal on the echo sounder, they run the net out with a powerful launch, eventually making a complete circle and enclosing their targeted shoal. The base of the net is closed and the fish are pulled up to the boat. By contrast, whales use the surface as the final trap for their catch. When the whales are close by, great care is needed to ensure that one doesn't get caught up in the net. As soon as an area is cleaned out or the prey move on, the humpbacks, like fishermen, move on as well, traveling the island channels in search of fresh herring shoals. When a new shoal is located, it may be deep or dispersed. Scientists have known about bubble netting for years, but they've only recently discovered the whale's ultimate weapon for destroying the fish shoal's coordination and for hurting the catch, the scream. The results are devastating. Surprisingly, only one or two whales in a group set the nets or screen. So, whether this is a choreographed team effort or the stealthy poaching from a particularly efficient bubble netter, no one is entirely sure. But the effect is still lethal, and they'll feed like this for 5 or 6 months solidly. This is predation on a massive scale. Witnessing this, the image of a humpback as just a gentle giant is changing. We are only now beginning to appreciate the complexities of these giants of the deep.
To learn more about what you've seen on this nature program, visit PBS online at pbs.org or America Online keyword PBS.
The beginning of an 8-part series. In the cradle of humanity, can Alice Wangui and Flora Sulenik find their separate ways home?
To order Humpback Whales on video cassette, call PBS Home Video at 1-800-PLAY-PBS. Major funding for nature is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. Major corporate support is made possible by Canon, dedicated to preserving the never-ending beauty of nature. Canon know-how lets you capture the wild in photographs and leave it as you found it. Canon know-how. Ford Motor Company. Anyone who makes a difference in their community. Anyone who starts in their own backyard to make the world a better place. These people are heroes. Ford Motor Company's Heroes for the Planet. And by TIAA-CREF, a long-time provider of products and services to support everyone's ever-expanding financial needs. TIAA-CREF, ensuring the future for those who shape it. This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Mysterious world.